You know, I probably should have actually set my Twitch, the boxes, if I'm honest. But I guess I'll just have to do it now. I know nobody's here, but I'm still just gonna get things rolling. I'm gonna be saying a lot of other stuff, I know. Wrong one. And, okay, where is the box? Need to shrink it a bit more. Okay, we should be live. I'm certain nobody will come for it, but hello, everybody. I am back with another stream. It has been forever, practically. I have been rather awful and hating myself as of late. And I really wanted to stream. I know that's the constant Molly story, wanting to stream, never doing it. But that is unfortunately the truth. Also, how did I shrink this? Okay, shouldn't be much better now for Twitch. Where was I? Oh yeah, kicking myself, basically. I have just fallen into a weird mental thing recently where there was just a couple days where I felt absolutely awful, just hating life itself, not wanting to do anything. But instead of, you know, doing it and getting rid of myself, I just kind of sat around like I normally do. So, hopefully this will help me change. I am trying to, at the very least, force myself to do things that either I want or need to do. That's starting with art and is now moving into streaming with, you know, getting this out of the way effectively. But we're finally going to touch the Nestic experience because it's been out. It's almost over, practically. But also, let's do some rolls. My gacha luck has been kind of awful on Madoka. They've added characters I've been waiting for, and unfortunately did the thing I hate where they made them 5 stars instead of only 4 stars or even a 3-star version. But whatever. They want to make their money, fine. Just give me Emery. Or Emily. But right now, gacha luck just seems to be a bit bad at the moment. Can't get Heathcliff or, of course, abusive Roja, who I need to beat me. We did get very hot Roja, at least. Oh, gold. Please be not a repeat. Come on, it's N-Corp, are you kidding me? Ugh. Faust, why? And of course that's gonna be my only one, isn't it? Yep. Grand, my gacha luck wants me to also kill myself, I think. Cool. Anyways, let's just get on with it, whatever the heck this event is. As you can see, I've touched literally nothing on it. So, of course, we gotta start with reading. The funnest thing to do. I'm gonna try and work the audio a bit because I want you guys to be able to hear it, but I'm scared it will, of course, outshine me, so I don't know. It's still a learning thing. No, wait. For this one, we should go about it like... No, Heathcliff's been in the Vanguard for too long. I should pull him back and let him... Dante. Huh? Oh, sorry. Did you say something? I provided you an answer to your question, but you exhibited no observable response. Is the Sinner's combat performance deteriorating beyond manageable parameters? No, things aren't that bad, but it's just hard to focus on one conversation when I'm trying to support battles happening in completely different places at once. Oh good, so we're getting used to the power of summoning our friends. On top of that, Roach's shopping chatter starting to get a little distracting. Aww. A few days after we entered N-Corp's district, the bus pulled over in the back streets of N-Corp to take care of a distortion case. This contract was supposed to be handled jointly with the LCD team, but distortion suddenly started cropping up all over an area of the back streets called Butter Street, without any coherent pattern, no obvious point of origin or route of spread, nothing convenient like that, and I had no choice but to split the sinners into several groups and send them out. Odish, Ishmael, Sinclair, Don Quixote, Yisong, and Merceau were on their way to rendezvous with the LCD team. Heathcliff, Gregor, and Hong Lu were suppressing distortions that had showed up from other directions. And with our onboard stock scraped down to the bottom, Roja and Ryoshu, who were done with their share of the suppression work, were put in charge of buying supplies for the... Aww. You can definitely trust Roja with that. I'm certain Roja will be very helpful in the shopping. As for Paus, she decided to stay behind with me on the bus. I wanted to get through the consultation sessions I'd been putting off, and thought I might as well get myself some much-needed practice with handling the new golden bow power I'd acquired. To reiterate, there are no issues requiring special concern regarding Faust. It is true that Faust has, on several recent occasions, expressed dissatisfaction with a certain Faust. However, those instances should be classified as a mere personal grievance. I mean, that's good if that's all there is to it, but this was not the first time Faust had seemed unlike herself. There had been times before when she spent far longer alone than usual, lost in thought, moments when she could not produce immediate answers to questions from the other sinners or me. Aw, she's getting bullied by the Discord chat. Can't do that to Faust. You can't access the Gazelle shaft. May I ask your basis for that inference? 'Cause you're acting a lot like you did back on the warp train. It appears there remain occasions on which you are still capable of surprising Faust, Dante. So I was right, you really are cut off from them. That was not intended as a confirmation of your conjecture. Maybe she's saying that while she can technically access the Gazelle shaft, it may as well be that she can't. I wish I could ask more and get to the bottom of it, but the way she was sidestepping the subject told me that prying wouldn't get me any further insight. Grand. Right, I won't press you if you don't want to talk about it. Your reserve is appreciated. Shall we move on? Yes, your consultation is the next agenda. After cross-referencing the records pertaining to the recent events in the House of Spiders, it would appear that memories concerning the individuals designated as Sora and Ren currently remain only with you, Dante. As such, should the influence of Ryoshu and her sword lead to further omissions in the official records, the manager will be responsible for supplementing the necessary information. Yeah, not the first time I was the only one left with intact memories, huh? That's right, despite K-Corp's memory wipe procedure, Catherine's erasure by the Golden Bow's power, and Araya Shiki severing people from existence, I was the only one who remembered what had transpired. Aww. But, ironically enough, the memories I had prior to swapping my head with this clock still showed no sign of returning. Why will my old memories come back, though? Is it because of this clock head? Speculation based on your experience with the bus team thus far will not meaningfully contribute to the recovery of your former memories. Manager, inductive reasoning conducted for memories with gaps, after all, is bound to have structural limitations. Bongi would serve as an adequate analogy. Yes, Bongi. Receiving feed and increasing in body mass alone would provide it with no meaningful basis for identifying the purpose of its rearing. Even at the terminal stage, when exposed to kitchen instruments and the heat of the stove, its limited experience would prove inadequate to constitute an understanding of its ultimate fate and purpose. Likewise, the ultimate answer to your doubts can only be obtained from the whole of the experience that you will have accumulated at the terminus of your entire journey. That is, your allotted mission. Because treasure awaits at the end of the road, at the end of hell. And that treasure will give me back my memories and my head. Also, indeed, at the end of the road, you will be able to engrave your aspect. I still have no idea what aspect means, or even whether it's an object, but if I know one thing, it's that the me from before all of this began had wanted it badly. Obsessively, desperately. It's more like an instinctive knowledge. Both my memory's gone, that feeling, however strong it is, does not change the fact that it's just another word with no discernible mental image. I feel like I keep hearing movement in the house and that's what's worrying me. And you're not going to tell me what it actually is, are you? The aspect. What it means, or why I wanted it so much. If it remains a piece of information that must be disclosed to you, then no. I am unable to tell you. Pay it no mind. You are still following your star acceptably. Please concentrate on the journey. More importantly, have you grown accustomed to that incomplete power? Current observation suggests that you have yet to arrive at that level. Well, I've gotten pretty used to focusing on one place at a time, but keeping track of several places at once is still a bit rough. Otis's team is doing well in combat, even without my direct supervision, probably because Otis is the one leading the charge. And Roja's team is shopping and not engaged in battle at the moment. Taking my mind off them would prove much easier, but that wouldn't give me the much needed practice, so I'm doing my best to keep an eye on every center status. Sufficient familiarity should result in substantial tactical value. You would be able to cast a wider net when information gathering and employ previously unavailable tactical patterns. Right, and I'd also be able to tell when it's a bad time to call someone in too. Even as I continue talking with Faust, I make sure not to stop observing the places where each group is and what they're doing. Yep, pulling Heathcliff to the rear was the right call. I don't see any injuries, his team's still doing pretty well, even without my directions. As for Roja, wait, did she just stuff all of the pastries and bread she bought into her pockets? How does she manage that with a huge baguette? Roja, never change with your apparently hammer space snack pockets. And Otis's group, let's see. Looks like they've joined up with the LCD team without any issues. LCD, then that guy over there must be... Hang on. Faust, there's a dude I've seen before, but he seems quite a bit different from what I remember. Could you specify the issue? I'm monitoring the situation right now. We should probably join up with them too. Let's end the consultation here. This is rather precipitous, Dante. If the incident is of a serious nature, perhaps a request for support from the LCC. No, it's not an incident. Though I wouldn't say it's not serious. Alright, setting things up. Dante's still getting used to things. I can do a poll. I will cry if I don't get... looks like I'm not getting it. I hate my gacha look so much. I'm at 8 tickets, okay. Eventually. We will eventually get to it. And poor Ishmael group. This is going from bad to worse, really. Dante seems to be tied up with helping the other groups. Otis's command calls have been working out well enough. I'll give her that. We've managed to hold the line better than expected, but we're definitely starting to feel the strain. Why are you waving your hand over the arm and hand signals? Man, they are zooming out of there. Huh? What signals? What's swinging the arm sideways even supposed to mean? You don't know? It's scatter, damn it, so scatter. That was close. We almost got flattened. Damn it, even rookies with nothing but the most rudimentary military training would have recognized a hand signal that basic. Well, we're not all trained soldiers here, are we? Verily, the flourish of his single hand doth indeed make boast of a chivalric elegance. Yet when thou suddenly wavest thine arm about, clenching and unclenching thy hand in that mystical fashion, only to suddenly turn tail, forsooth I am left bereft of understanding what thou meanest to say. Poor Don Quixote. Everything is just going poorly. To think that of all the personnel on the team, only the swabby has the discipline to interpret a basic field signal. I only picked it up during my sailing days. And realistically speaking, did you really expect ordinary people like the others to understand professional military signals? This is unacceptable. After all the operations all of you have been deployed under my lead, you're all still ignorant when it comes to nonverbal signals. I don't even think Dante would know those signals. Yep, might as well be splitting hairs, literally. Let us appease our agitated hearts and follow Miss Otis's instruction. We should disperse and withdraw. Darn, we still got Ezra with us at least. Hey, pretty cool, huh? Let's face it, I don't know how to make one heck of an entrance. You really do. Good old pets. Hey, Legends. It has been forever since we've talked, Legends. Good to see you, though. We are finally doing the Limbus event that has been going on for, like, the start of the month. And it's the last week of it. Well, aren't you supposed to be cleaning up the distortions upstairs? Oh, finito a million years ago. You guys were taking forever, so I figured I'd take a peek and lend a hand. You're welcome. Split by your thundering descent, the floor's form and shape are now crushed beyond mending, sunken deep enough to be likened to the incipient of a wellspring. Yeah, good luck on Limbillion. My gotcha luck has been awful, Legends. I hate it. Today has been so bad when it comes to any of my gotchas. Don't you worry your head about it. That's all after teams to take care of. Anyway, that should be all of them, right? The force of your landing neutralized the last of the distortions outside of the building. Great. Can you check on the distorted peeps' face and clothes? Their faces are all segmented. Makes my skin crawl. Not a pleasant sight. As for their attire... this one appeareth to be a sweeper, and that one yonder bears the attire of an ordinary fixer. And this distortion I landed on, probably a local resident judging by the clothes. Did any of you happen to see anything nearby bursting with a big pop and flash? Nay, not once. Okie dokie. You know what? Let's all head upstairs. This suppression request is kind of a pain. We'll need to put together a nice neat plan before we start poking it too hard. A plan, sayest thou? How was this not a mere matter of slaying distortions where they stand? Huh? Wait, did nobody brief you? This has oft been the structure of our assignments. We are given instructions, we perform them, and only afterward do we begin to perceive the nature and contour of the task to which we have committed our hands. I'm also sharing on that gotcha luck. Hope it turns around soon. Hope it turns around for you as well. Really? Well, guess every department has its own way of doing things. No big deal. I'll explain everything once we're upstairs. Oh, by the way, you didn't get to meet the whole team last time, did you? Only our new girl? This time, that dude, Mr. Bamboo-Hatted Kim's also here, so... Huh? He's okay now? Sure he is. You'll be surprised once you see just how okay he is now. But last time we said he was still under treatment. To be precise, I believe Miss Engdu stated that his mind is yet to regain its former tranquility. That. You'll get it once you see him. I feel like we'll just end up having the same conversation twice if I say anything now. Let's go, do aura farming. And also Kim. It's so bright. The midday sun is pouring in like crazy. Yet the warm tickle of the sunbeam is rather agreeable. No, this is not sunlight. Because unlike this, there is more to the sunshine than its warmth. Then what exactly is this light? We can see the fit. Why is this thing on again? It's bright enough to fry my eyeballs. Apologies, Lady Ezra. I admit to be accustomed to this machine. This is my first time laying a hand upon the complicated workings of such a contraption. It activated of its own accord, and I have yet to discover the method by which it may be silenced. That's why I told you to leave it alone. Fiddling with things you don't understand usually ends with something, or you, broken. Nothing good comes of it, I tell you. But, Mentor, Lady Moses has instructed me that in every moment and event, clues are hidden under the veil of one's surroundings and must be examined with care. Yes, and that only works if you're savvy about the knack. Hang on, did you just say mentor? I'd not yet been afforded a proper opportunity to introduce him to you. This here is the esteemed leader of the Blade lineage, who is all but a master under whom I have apprenticed. Do you really have to dress it up like that? I told you I only took on the role because there wasn't anyone else around to take the job. Or a nuke. So true, Pablo. Also, hello, Pablo. Hope you're having a good day or night. Switch. Where's the switch? Aha, gotcha. Aw, really? Jeez, the loss of aura here. What the heck? Goodness. Known as Bamboo-Hatted Kim. Honestly, I really do like that sweater she's got. God, I hate your design. It's like such a letdown. What the heck? Like, come on. Yeah, he just looks like the typical shonen protagonist. That's Bamboo-Hatted Kim for you. Yes, that's me. Guess I should say pleased to meet you, folks. Like, look at this. It's so cool. And then it's just that. We just get typical boy art, practically. God. I do like the layout of this room, though. More often than not, first impressions are prone to change. Feels bad, man. We're so disparaged. The Bamboo-Hatted Kim, I remember, was a man who'd drowned in his own fathoms, blaming himself for his powerlessness with a listless, heavy voice. That, however, had been while he was distorted and sunken into himself, so I figured his original personality might be somewhat. You're only guessing somewhat? But this is not just somewhat. His personality isn't even the same ballpark. I'm glad canonically we're lamenting this aura loss. What the heck? You're telling me this guy here is Bamboo-Hatted Kim? Yep, we double-checked with Ezra, and she said he really is the same guy. Whoa, that's fire in your head, that fire in your head's not hot at all? Fascinating stuff. Okay, can we check again, just in case? I really can't wrap my head around the fact that this is the sullen, serious man whom we'd fought. Just look at what he's doing. He's rubbing my face all over like he's checking out some kind of mantelpiece ornament. Lots of ticking and talking going on. That's supposed to sound like them talking to you folks? Further confirmation would be redundant, Dante. This individual is conclusively identical to the one designated as Bamboo-Hatted Kim. I've got no idea what you folks are so suspicious about. Dang, dude, just what exactly have you been telling people out there about me? They're all staring like they've seen a ghost. I told them you are a gallant and formidable warrior, Mentor. but they don't look like they've heard the most flattering things about me. There, don't you hear it? The faint undercurrent of disappointment in the ticking. So true. I am heavily disappointed in you. I also told them that you are a man of few words, but that is just a straight up lie at this point. But with much affection for the followers under your command. Hangdu. Yes, Mentor? That's a complete and utter lie. Man of few words is definitely not something you can say about a guy who's as talkative as me, don't you think? Yet I spoke no falsehood, although your conduct is rather shallow and perhaps less refined for a leader of an organization. You are much more reserved and taciturn when conversing with those unfamiliar to you, are you not? Oh, jeez, Hangdu. Snap out of it. No matter who one may be, one is bound to inspire either approval or disapproval from those around him, so I refrained from mentioning any truths that might invite the latter. To even hint at anything that might tarnish the reputation of my master would not be unlike spitting on his name, and mine by extension. I simply had no reason to put on airs in front of my own folks. In any case... so you can't see anything if I block this part, Do tell, how many fingers am I holding up? I want to slap you right now. I think I actually just hate you. It's probably gonna turn around once fighting begins, but like... I kind of just hate you. Your own folks, huh? Then you've already acknowledged and accepted that you now belong... Glory to Limbus Company. I like him, of course you do. Standard shonen man. Why didst thou not pay a visit to the LCE? Verily, when one's mind is plagued by the absence of tranquility, venturing forth into the open air and touchable field of grass cleareth the storm of the heart. She's literally telling him to touch grass. Literally just touch grass. Jeez. An asset of the company is expected to act in the company's interest, yet for whatever reason I didn't see you fighting on the field of battle during Operation Spiderpire. You will have to account for your absence in the mission. Otis addressed Kim as though she were conducting a formal investigation, every word flat and hard. It was obvious she was not about to let her guard down anytime soon. What mission? Oh, that one. Kim finally seemed inclined to assume a more serious disposition. He stopped peering into my face and turned toward Otis, although his hand was still on my head. Alright, clearly there's some disconnect in expectations here. Listen here, you. I'm really not all that about hard, bothersome work, get what I mean? What is he like on the battlefield? I really need to know. Like, it honestly confuses me how we went from Bamboo-Headed Kim to, like, this guy. Like, what is he actually like when he has to fight for his life? What? So let's talk about the kind of fellow I am. Meet the resident layabout, who's forced to do his job, with a frown too, I might add, only when he's got absolutely no other choice. I'm really not some big shot Hangdu's apparently been promoting me as, folks. And I'd very much like to stop getting roped into stuff that keeps putting my life on... Wait, I'm just now noticing, Legends, that two of your messages need translations. One of them is the same, just hey. But this first one goes from yes to yo for some reason. What the heck, YouTube? Fine, then why did you join the LCD in the first place if you'd rather be unemployed? And no, never mind. They probably forced you to stay. Thanks for the Morse code, Kai. You catch on quick. First, they spout this nonsense about distortions and all, and then force-hired me, calling me a company-owned resource or whatever. And the other day, they were again on about, what's its name, Golden Bow? Yes, they invited me on a tour to another department to listen on some important presentation. It translated my Spanish accent for me clearly. Honestly, probably true. And I accepted. I thought it would be a fine opportunity to broaden my perspective. And dear, there are times when your commitment to duties shines brighter than the sun. I find that attitude so dazzling that I have to squint when I'm looking at you. Hi, Molly. I'm in Project Moonland at the moment. As you can see, I am as well. Unless you're talking about, like, Korea. In that case, I hope you're enjoying it. Who knows? Maybe that's why I'm wearing this bamboo wear. To shade my eyes from your utter brilliance. Do you mean to say that you are in need of a shield to protect your eyes? Lady Ezra, might I submit a request for a pair of sunglasses for my that face. Only if it's not too much of an imposition on the budget, that is. Tteokbokki is good. Oh, so you are in Korea. Nice. And so I've heard. That right there. That's what I keep telling you not to do. You can't just say yes to every silly thing he says and turn it into a supply request. Small expenses add up to a lot, you know. You gotta save up everything you can in the piggy bank while you still can, or you'll end up broke. Is there truly no room for reconsideration? It really is ideal. No means no. Then pray make the purchase for me. I shall cover the cost myself. No kit... What? My poor mentor is in a state of great discomfort, yet I possess neither the wisdom nor the knowledge to navigate the silver tongue of merchants and the maze of stalls to locate the very best item. So I must beg this favor of you. You're giving me a frickin' headache, girl. I am aware that you and yours are no strangers to such dealings. There is no one else I can trust to complete such a procurement with the swiftness of the wind. You know what? Never mind what I said. I'll just get you what you want. You heard the gentle lady, mentor. Your suffering shall soon be alleviated. I'm starting to worry that you're more of a yandere than it first seemed. Right. My apologies for interrupting you mid-conversation. Pray, continue. You had reached the part where they invited you to tour another department. No sooner Engdu's words left her lips than her eyes glinted with something I couldn't really put my finger on. But it was a strange intensity that sent a chill down my spine. What do you imagine Kim having Ella's voice from Left 4 Dead? Honestly, I could kind of see it. I could kind of see him with like a more country accent. Whatever the equivalent is in Korea. Yeah. So that day I was just gonna relax here and watch some TV. Well, good on you for showing up to work today, I guess. Let's say there's a debt to be repaid. At least you understand that we are indeed indebted to the company. Yeah, I suppose I do. Korean Cajun. Kim's gaze lingered on Engdu's prosthetic arms as he answered. Oh, Miss Engdu, your arms. Only after following Kim's gaze did Sinclair seem to notice Engdu's brand new prosthetic arms. The last time we saw her, she lost both her arms. I remember as Ezra asking her to sit tight and choose what type of prosthesis she wanted. Those arms are probably it. It's not just the arms, even her clothes are different now, and that sword. I had these arms fitted anew as soon as the operation was concluded. The gracious host in one of the LCD's teams had prepared them in advance. With evident satisfaction, Engdu held up her dark metallic wrists as if to showcase them. The components fixated along her arm clicked and rattled, unfolding for a moment before neatly folding back into place. That's awesome. Such graceful smoothness led to machine articulation, just as though I am beholding the marvelous prosthesis of the illustrious Siegfried himself. Yep, the showcase would have gone lackluster without that trademark reaction. That's strikingly similar to Schwartz Industries' N7 lineup, but I thought that model was discontinued. Nah, not theirs. It's one of the prototypes developed by LCD's Phenomena Deciphering team, and they put them on for trial. Doubt you'll find another like them. They're based on technology spun from distortions. Oh, I see. Aw. Poor Sinclair. For a brief moment, Sinclair's eyes lit up as if he had glimpsed something that brought him back to a memory. Then, just as quickly, he fell silent, whatever he'd wanted to say next catching in his chest. Does something trouble you, Master Sinclair? Thanks for reminding us of that moment. Sheesh. It wasn't hard to understand what struck the tender memory for Sinclair, and why it cast a shadow over his face. But, sorry, just reminded me of something from a long time ago. My dad used to work with prosthetics before he passed away. I thought this was the exact same model I saw back then. YouTube? What is this? What do you mean always into trauma? I am so confused right now with you, YouTube. Does it actually show up on here? It actually does show up. What the heck, carpet? Why are you... Robophobes, am I right? Why is your carpet going into Tawarma? I just have that effect. We've also infected Kai, apparently, with it. It appears I lacked tact. These arms have stirred a painful memory within you. For that, I apologize. It's alright, I'm fine now. Sinclair's voice still carried a faint tremor, but beneath it, there was a firmness that had not been there before. He really had grown a great deal. You can thank yours truly for picking the sword. I was there with her. No need to thank me, I'm just that good. Wingdings. I did inform Lady Ezra that any blade that could serve as a weapon would suffice, but she insisted on browsing the goods. I dare say I was given the opportunity to lay my eyes on every type of sword I could ever hope to see in this life, walking through the workshop street that day. Oh, please. Girl, we just walked for 4 hours. That's nothing. While everyone was distracted taking in Ingdu's new outfit and equipment, Kim had quietly slipped away from the crowd and crouched down in a corner. He was rummaging through things scattered on the floor, picking them up. Is he pickpocketing them? Anyway, what is this place supposed to be? What are all these things? It's basically a wreck now, but there are strobes in that cloth backdrop over there. Maybe it used to be a photo studio. Oh, that could explain why there are so many photos stuck around the place. Probably. This thing definitely looks like a camera, at least. Sinclair picked up a small cylindrical object and turned it over in his hands, studying it with curiosity. Bamboo Goat Kim. Hello, Lucatin. You... What do you suppose this is? A battery, maybe? Ah, there's some kind of strip inside. Let me just pull it out. No, that's... Aldous shouted, a sharp warning at Sinclair as if she had realized something. But Merceau's hand shot out before she could even finish, clasping over Sinclair's wrist before the strip could be pulled out. What did I do? Exposure to sunlight damages these objects. I already pulled a little bit out, though. It can be rewound. Carefully rotate the ridged section on the cylinder. I am currently blocking the sunlight from it reaching the exposed section. Damage is of no concern. Okay, you mean this one, right? This is the part that rotates. Yep, and went back in. With a quiet nod, Marceau took the object from Sinclair's hand. It seems to be a film roll. There is something written on the outside. Experiment number 4. It appears to be a compact roll for a film camera. You seem to have handled one before. Yes. Marceau's answer came without any further explanation, but the way he adjusted the camera on the table certainly didn't look like that of a first-timer. I once received a report containing photographs taken on film cameras during the war. Film rolls used by N Corp are particularly difficult to falsify. They were often used to collect intelligence during secret operations. The film fixes light directly onto the medium from what I've heard. A peculiar expression flashed across Ezra's face as she regarded Otis. Perhaps it was the mention of war that caught her attention. Anyway, we've managed to regroup in one piece. Let's come up with a plan to deal with these distortions, guys. Where should we begin? Then, in the next breath, she returned to her usual bubbly self and steered the conversation away from the subject. Both Ezra and I, we're both still trying to be free of the misconception we inflicted on ourselves. For all her unfailingly perky disposition, Ezra, too, may be carrying traumatic memories every bit as devastating as Gregor's. Does there yet remain aught deserving illumination? Yeah, but you're right. Haven't we cleaned up the distortion already? I couldn't feel any more traces of distortions nearby, and it didn't seem like any of the other center teams elsewhere were actively engaged in battle either. Hi, Molly. Hello, Bianca. It is good to see you. I know it's super late, but I really needed to stream, so that's why I'm streaming now. Dante is asking whether the distortion suppression has not, in fact, already been concluded. Oh, not yet. These people we fought just now, they only got caught up in the distortion. They didn't actually distort themselves. We haven't even gotten close to the distortion's inflection point yet. Inflection point? Anywho, finding an inflection point without the team leader around's gonna take some time. Maybe it won't be too bad with your help. Ezra swept her eyes around the room with a look of frustration, as though she had just been handed a puzzle box with half the pieces missing. Boy. By inflection point, are you referring to the point on a graph in which the directionality of its curvature changes? Calling to mind the present context, it may be less a mathematical term and more of a specialized polyseme referring to the point at which distortion occurs. The motive, intent, or indeed, the point in which inflection of the mind occurs. Twitch chat does not show up. It's just because the Twitch chat is like, it starts at the top and goes down. Like, I can fix it if I just pull it. See? If I just do it like this, it'll be fine. I'm trying to remember how to move it. There we go. And yeah, I know Twitch chat has always been like that. Extendo mode. Yep, that's about right. That's the kind of inflection point I was talking about. So, in our department, we use that term to mean the source of a distortion, the inflector or cause behind it, stuff like that. You know, distortion's hard to treat if you don't know the core cause. Treat the symptoms you see on the surface all you like, but if you never find the root cause, the distortion's never getting solved. But I guess you guys never really had to look for that kind of stuff, huh? Your boss clock opens up a door into their fathoms or whatever, right? You mean Dungeon of the Fathoms? Yep, that's the one. For more worse standing, distortions are really high maintenance, time-consuming headaches. It's one thing to somehow manage to locate the inflection point, but curing it is another thing. But you guys can just march straight into someone's heart, knock the snot out of everything in there, and then ta-da! Patient ready for discharge. That's how it works, right? Ugh, not gonna lie, I was so jealous when I heard about it. I almost bit my sleeve off. Aw, poor Ezra. I sadly have to go to bed. I got a new job, but it's super tiring. Thank you for showing up, though, Legends. I honestly, again, thank you for surprising me with your becoming here, and hope the new job works out. Verily, I had thought your team would set about resolving distortions once the foe was vanquished, as we are wont to do. Was that not so? Of course not. Why would anyone come to us with a distortion suppression request if it were that simple in the first place? But yeah, most of the time, peeps try brute force approaches to it first, and when things go south, they send requests to the company or to our detective's office. Currently writing a meta-psychological horror fanfic based off Hell of a Boss. Some chapters will take place in reality and will center on a group of kids who discover this strange anomaly in one of the episodes. And other chapters will take place in the Helliverse and focus on a character trying to break into reality. Interesting stuff there. Good luck with that, Bianca. Well, not kids, but they're basically kids still. Unless they're like 30 and doing it. It's what I do, and good luck on finishing the event. Thank you, Legends. That means the client this time must have been... Bingo! Apparently the resident of Butter Street had all chipped in to commission all kinds of agencies, like the Zwei and the Combat Specialized Fixer offices, but none of them could actually do things right, and the job got passed on to us. Meaning the distortion phenomenon related to this kind of photograph is still occurring unchecked somewhere on the streets. Exactly. That's why we gotta find something. Anything that might count as a clue. Ezra gazed down at the people lying on the floor with a complicated expression. Neat ash gray suits and the logo of the collar of their uniform and briefcases. Hey, isn't that N-Corp? Wasn't Merceau? I was once employed by N-Corp. What, you used to work with those people? Yeah, he did mention that he used to work at N-Corp. Maybe he can offer us some insight. Do you know who these guys are, Merceau? Yes, manager. These are N-Corp Class 2 staff members. Given the camera briefcases in their possession, they are likely members of the pinframe team of Service de Clos. Merceau recited the information as though he were pulling it from a file he had already stored it and placed in the back of the shelf in his mind. Okay, pinframe team, huh? Anything you can tell us about them? Yes. It is one of N-Corp's many field departments related to information gathering and processing. Their primary duties include the handling of N-Corp's internal information, analysis of N-Corp's internal intelligence, the sorting and arranging of N-Corp's internal information, and intersector. That'd be enough. Whoa, is he like a talking encyclopedia or something? Yeah, another thing to be jealous of. You think it'll be okay if we borrow him sometimes? Aw. It might be an issue for us if you just went and borrowed our team's encyclopedia. Looks like everyone agrees that he's an encyclopedia. Anyway, your encyclopedia's right. They're from N-Corp's pinframe team. Seen them a few times before in N-Corp's nest. But would people already busy enough dealing with nest affairs come all the way out to a shabby backstreet like this? Got any guesses? I am unable to determine that. Eh? The possible range of connection between the two pieces of information is exceedingly broad. Listing every relevant reason as to why they may have come here would require a considerable amount of time. Therefore, I will not present a determinative answer to that question. Ezra, staring holes into me with an unspoken, "Is this dude always like this?" wouldn't pull any answers from me, you know. Because aside from combat situations, I've still got no way to figure out what's going on in his head. Okay, then. So, maybe this will be easier to answer. From an objective point of view. And that's when I noticed something I'd never imagined would happen. Merceau's eyes widened, his gaze fixing me with such force that I could almost feel the faint tremor in it. A leveling stare that came with There's no such thing as an objective point of view. Manager. A clipped tone and a look almost bordering on rebuke. Honestly, that's like the angriest I think I've seen him. A given judgment may seem infinitely closer to objectivity, but ultimately all things are subjective without exception. I fell silent for a moment, lost in thought. Part of it was because Merceau's reactions had caught me off guard, but I also wondered whether this response might be connected to why he would always refuse to make judgments for himself. And if this has something to do with his turn, which I know is just around the corner. Got it. Then tell me 3 subjective reasons you think are most likely for why these people had to come all the way into the back streets. I need to understand who he actually is as much as I can, because I'll never know when I'll get another chance to really get to know him if I brush this off with a simple, "Oh, I see, my bad as usual." Yes, manager. I would presume that their mission was one or all of the following: retrieval of a video recording or recordings in violation of N-Corp's taboo, prompt elimination of the violator, contact with an informant in the backstreets collaborating with N-Corp's nest, or identification and arrest of a wanted individual or individuals designated by the nest. Taboo? You mean these people could be taboo hunters? Nah, no way. They don't send out taboo hunters every single violation, you know? Like, the wings usually leave minor taboo violations to be handled by subcontracted fixer officers or employees of the department in charge. I'd say these guys here are N-Corp staff. Also, sorry if I'm talking too fast. I just feel like that's appropriate for Merceau. Miss Engdu, what are you looking for in their pockets? I'm looking through their belongings for enlightening clues yet be hidden in the sleeve or the fold of their garments. Lady Moses has been gifted with the art of discerning the truth from what lies before her with but a single glance. Yet my eyes are foreign to such a feat. Let me take a look too. This is an employee card, and okay, this one's a wallet. So let's put that back. We don't want to be robbers. Aha! This might be it. It's an order missive. Ezra pulled out a sheet of paper. Work details. Elimination of the individual of a Category 3 taboo violation. Address, Butter Street. This is the place. Which means all of this might be pointing to something. Whoever used to work in the studio and the distortion phenomenon might be connected. Yeah, now that you mention it, when that whole pop and change thing happened, it did kind of feel like a camera flash. Alright, let's start by combing through this place. Let me know if you find anything suspicious. Let's go, Detective Don Quixote. Don Quixote must have been miffed for not getting to play detective back in T-Corp. Aww. No idea where she'd been keeping them, but she immediately pulled out the detective props that had been given to Roja, Ryosho, and Honglu back then. Verily, I had foreseen that the day would come. Fortunately, Otis wasted no time putting an end to Don Quixote's badly timed shenanigan. A sharp dressing down from her was enough to make our dejected, chivalric adventurer stuff the costume away. Otis, come on, you don't need to be mean to her. Let her be free. Don Quixote deserves to have fun too. Come on. Alright, time for fun story stuff. If I'm doing that, then I'm just gonna move into just farming what I can from it. I can't do you, unfortunately. However, I do have other points. I can do you, and I am taking Shadow Vested into this. You. Bring back Branch of Knowledge. And then I probably shouldn't take the other one, even though I probably would be for the best for farming. But I also don't have a good replacement for you, do I? Because I guess bleed is fine enough. And you can help do the colors.
벌써요? 출장이군요.
망상. 피가 범람할. 착수.
We spent a long time rifling through the photo studio with the LCD team, but no one found any decisive evidence. I sure had a lot of photos around, but almost all of them are just pictures of buildings, nothing much to tell from that. Aside from the canister containing the film roll Sinclair picked up, there are no remaining items here that can count as a proper clue, Executive Manager. I've confirmed that the rest are all empty plastic containers. Then it's probably best to check the contents of the film roll directly. Yes, Executive Manager. I will find a way to develop the film. Did you guys find any sort of photo development room or equipment nearby? Let's search a little more before we see what's in that film roll. Mentor, what do you make of this object? For the 8th time, Engdu, I have no idea. If I had wits bright enough to understand all that lies before me with a single glance like that team leader, I would have passed the royal examinations long ago and secured myself a lucrative position as a court official. Also, Chapter 1. Urgent frantically warning that something bad is going to happen. She has to unplug her speakers and only find her computers unplugged. What? Oh, okay, you're talking about your story. Sorry, I only skimmed part of it. Sounds like it's going well, though. But, Mentor, hadn't you already passed the royal? Once swung, a sword does not retrace its arc, Engdu. So it is with life. There is no undoing what has already been cut. Thus, it is unnecessary to dwell on what can no longer be undone. There is no after for what has been slashed away. Not for you, Mentor. Ought you not dwell on what you can no longer be undone? I misspoke. I did not mean it that way, Engdu. I merely meant to say that I do not wish to recall my past. I am aware. You have told me as much since long ago, whenever you were placed in a position to retrace the past. Mostly at the eateries where you filled your belly on unpaid tabs, and each time you brought down the stone wall before our house by your own erring hand. Those are exactly the kinds of things you should never forget. Ow, my belly. I feel stabbing pain in my belly. This spot, oh, the very wound you once gave me afflicts me yet. The one from when you thought you were only poking me with a scabbard, yet by some cruel turn it was your sword that ran me through. Mentor, you said it was completely healed and that I need not concern myself with it. Those very same words have been repeated at least 80 times. But it still aches every now and then. Chiefly when I hear your sharp cutting words that I really don't want to hear. Is that so? Engdu suddenly pulled out a sheet of paper and began furiously writing something down. What's this? I have written down the words that I have just said. If hearing my sharp, cutting words afflicts you so, perhaps reading them instead would cause no suffering. Kim's face began to contort like a wet dish towel being wrung dry. I really can't believe this is the same mentor Engdu follows so devotedly. Where's all that dignity and forbearance Engdu said he had? Young Engdu, there is a matter I would ask thee. Apparently I wasn't the only one who felt that way about him. Pray, speak freely. This may perhaps be a discourteous inquiry, but, I, too, when speaking to others of those whom I serve, often ornament my words with a laudation of an acceptable degree, and yet... I understand your concern, Lady Don Quixote. I suppose this is your first time seeing Mentor with his shoulders so unbraced, and his bearing so loose. In truth, when I first beheld him, I also wondered whether such a man could truly be a leader worth placing my faith in. However, oh boy. Upon my honor, I assure you that I have never once uttered a falsehood when I spoke of him to you. My respect toward the blades of my own and foes alike, my determination to safeguard what must be protected, even should my arms be torn apart, all of these are undoubtedly the teachings that my mentor has imparted unto me. Truly? Why, if fortune should grant the opportunity, you may witness Mentor's true self yourself someday. That is to say, if we let ourselves be carried by the currents of the river to arrive at such a chance. Engdu gave her prosthetic arm a casual sweep, smiling sincerely as though she truly believed every word she said. Then, leaning close to Don Quixote, she whispered, "Besides, unless I speak with this feigned stern ignorance, there will be no end to his digging in his heels. I would ask for your trust, for all is aimed at his benefit." "Forsooth, thou too hast been burdened with the trials of serving your superior." So that's what it was. I get it now. Poor Don Quixote. And great, now we gotta fight the men in white. Just as I witnessed the budding of this peculiar bond of commiseration and camaraderie between our chivalric friends, the door leading outside was flung open with a loud slam. We have arrived at the target location. It appears that the advance party has already been defeated. Wait, who are these people? Didn't they say there was only a single violator? Ah, crap. Looks like it's too late to talk our way out of this, whatever excuses we come up with. Oh boy, this is not gonna go well. The same thing happened last time. When I saw the N-Corp employees, I thought we had the wrong intel, and all of a sudden flash of white blinded my vision white. As though I had stared into a burst of searing light so intense and bright that it made my head swim. Thanks, N-Corp. Yeah, that was the same poppin'. With my vision blinded, the only thing I could make out was Ezra's soft murmur. Until even that came to a stop. What the heck happened? Why are we back in Kimland? Seeing it again doesn't exactly warm the heart, wouldn't you say, Engdu? Though S-Corp may indeed be passing through hard times, this alley was not quite so wretched in form, was it, Mentor? Is that right? Looks much the same to me. This place. Did we just get teleported to S-Corp? No, Dante. Though it generates a considerable sense of verisimilitude, this is... I think I know what this is. This is a presence. I haven't been able to detect it until just now, but somehow it was now surrounding us, saturating every corner of the space where we stood. The dreary stone walls, trees bent and coiled in grotesque forms, the sheen of the light, and even the air we breathe, all of them point toward a single phenomenon. This is the depth of the fathoms. Fathoms made entirely out of distortion. Great! N-Corp is catching up with us. There are completely different distortions where the N-Corp employees were just a moment ago, Executive Manager. This is exactly it. This is what I was trying to explain. What the heck are these guys, and why do they look so realistic? Where Ezra pointed, the people in smart, neat suits had vanished, and in their place, figures clad in blood-stained Dappa robes were approaching us with dragging, uneasy steps. My blade is poised to strike Lady Ezra. And wait, where's Bamboo-Hatted Dude? I am afraid he has already taken his leave. He said he had no desire to cross blades with the Chaunokuns of S-Corp twice. Come on, man, not again. He's a repeat offender, that's for certain. Executive Manager. Wherever Kim's gone off to, this definitely isn't the time to be asking trivial questions. Oh boy, Kim. Thanks for abandoning us in our time of need.
상당히 즐거워 보이는데요. 뭔가 기운을 내게 하는 걸 먹었을지도 몰라요.
At least we get both Engdu and also Ezra. It looks like they have a lot of fun stuff too. Yep, oh my gosh. On the outside it looks no different from prostheses you might find in other nests or backstreets, but apparently this particular prosthetic limb has been created using technology unique to Limbus Company. I wonder what that could be. Since the development of this prototype was led by the LCD department, I would assume it has something to do with the power of distortions. Oh, that's not to say that I have any certainty regarding the matter. Stupid yawning. I was only in charge of transporting it, you see. It's just a simple speculation, really. In any case, I doubt this is your average prosthetic limb meant for body enhancement. Now then, I think I've gone through Ezra's already. Oh, she doesn't have anything. Okay. Good to know. Good job, team, with this. Getting my blanket, because I'm tucking myself in here in the chair. Oh boy. So close to the stagger.
분수는
아비들도 매번 이런 식이었다. 지금 내킬 때는 잘해줬지.
Let us do a little bit of farming.
망설임이 없도록.
For the materials we need. And also just let Ezra pop off and Engdu as well. Oh my.
무파법을 이제야 좀 이해했고.
뼈를 깎는다.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요.
More material farming. Go through these clashes.
저야 먹구를 달궈 볼까?
So close. Okay, thank you, Engdu.
혈이 남자오.
Good job, Ezra. Getting damage on. Yeah, looks like this is just an easy walk-in victory.
이대로 몰아붙이면 아무 저항도 못하고 사건이 해결될 수밖에 없겠는데요? 수 있겠죠?
여기까지 와서 망설일 생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어. 사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도 세피라들도 처음부터 거래를 하지 말았어야지. 거긴 킬존이다! 몰아떨굴 수밖에. 그럼 끝!
Definitely glad I threw her onto that as well.
재밌네. 난 너희가 좀더
And then, yeah, Ezra gets the quick kill. Merceau should finish that one off. Just these two left.
욕심 모가지를 분질러야 조용해진다. 저 도야지 같은 새끼들.
망설임이 없도록.
아름다운 것. 그렇지 않나.
Jeez.
일찍 끝내.
And then we just damage, which gets taken by Ingdu. Good job, Ingdu and team. That should be all of them. Surveying the area with measured alert, Ingdu casts the blood from her sword with a few sharp flicks before sliding it back to its sheath. Huh? They're not changing them back? Doesn't look like beating up the distorted ones reverts them immediately this time around. Perhaps a fortunate turn of events in a way. Let us search for clues while time allows us. Right. You take that side, Ingdu. I'll search here. Ezra and Ingdu moved about as though they were used to this kind of situation. Without even taking a moment to catch their breath after the battle, they began searching the space. Prithee. Dagyetu was the first to voice her doubt in the surreal, unfamiliar situation we found ourselves in. We battled distortions upon our arrival hither, yet never before have I beheld our surroundings change with so sudden a flash. Prithee, I cannot make sense of this situation. Couldst thou render a detailed account of this distortion phenomenon? Apologies. It would appear I overlooked the briefing due to the urgency of this predicament. This is, according to the definition presented by Lady Moses, a location-type distortion. It's basically when a whole space distorts, and since places and buildings can't move on their own, the distortion gets fixed in a certain space. As for this one, it looks like the distortion's already progressed pretty far along. Middle stage, probably. They don't usually get this big, but this one here is covering almost an entire street. Then those people. They entered the space and got caught up in it, and our job right now is to get to the bottom of the phenomenon. What exactly gets people caught up, and what happens to them once they're in. I mean, so far, it looks like N-Corp is forcing this distortion to happen as like a test run of something. Of course, we can't really rule out the possibility of a powerful distortion that's encroaching upon its environment. Oh, by that I mean when a distortion bleeds into the space around it and warps it. Oh man, I'm actually talking like our team leader. Rubbed off on me, I guess. Ezra continued with a sheepish giggle. Aww. In any case, we won't be able to suppress or cure the distortion, even if we whoop these guys' asses 100 times. We need more clues to help us locate the inflection point. Maybe we should examine these people over here, too. With a call, Ezra directed our attention to rows of collapsed people all around. The glyph emblazoned upon their headbands, Chu, bespeaks propulsion in pursuit. It marks them as Chu-unokons, functionaries charged with scouring and hunting runaway nobis. You hail from the homeland as we do. I am unsurprised that you know of them. I could hardly fail to know, for I too was once enumerated among their quarry. Scientists and technicians were daily being dispossessed of their stations in S-Corp after all. So it was no idle tale. Scientists who ply their craft without flattening S-Corp's coffers are seized forthwith and made nobbies of the corporation. Indeed, I count myself fortunate to have absconded with my friends before the brand of Nobi could be impressed upon us. Otherwise, Nobi, the wretched appellation conferred upon the people for the convenience of those in power, a vile practice and an excuse of their power-mongering, nothing more. The so-called taboo hunters of S-Corp operate by much the same anatomy. Does the breaching of taboo summon the hunter, or does the hunter first seize his prey, to thereafter frame the captured with invented transgression? Hey, how's it going? Follow me on Twitter. Thank you. What is it? Oh, Christian A. Warner, or I guess Cristiano Warner. Drop a follow back, then I connect you there. Thank you for following. We are still just going through and learning about awful business practices with people seizing other people. And also a bit of communism where it's the, you give me the man, I give you the crime. If the powerful so desire to chase a man down, to take possession of his very being and keep him caged, then they need only decree that he should bear the lot of a Nobi. Such is what S-Corp has become today. My mentor, too, is one of the victims of that accursed practice. Then, could these people have been sent out to capture your mentor, Yi-Song? Or me, perhaps. Or none of us. You mean to state that they may be conceptual forms of Chunokins, generated by distortion? That is a plausible conjecture. We are getting nowhere with this clue hunting. With a heavy sigh, Otis pressed her fingers against her brow as if her head were starting to pound in frustration. To delve further into the matter, it is necessary to determine why the S-Corp and its Chutanokons have appeared as the motif of this phenomenon. Considering the course of events we have seen so far, would it not stand to reason that the distortion stains all nearby things with memories most foul? The presence of Chutanokons suggests a possible correspondence to Yi-Song's memories. Conversely, however, the absence of T-Corp's time collectors weakens that hypothesis. In which case, the most plausible theory is that this particular distortion could have stemmed from Bamboo-Hatted Kim or Engdu's memories. Engdu furrowed her brow and fell into thought, as though she couldn't grasp the full picture of the problem. What? Okay, you just give me a follow back. Yeah, I should honestly take off the... feel free to send me a message, just because of all the stuff that has basically forced me to do it. Thank you for bringing it to my attention, though, Christiana. Or Christian A. But this one, I'm not getting that pop of inspiration. Can't even guess at what this distortion wants either. Oh great, another pop. If only the team leader was here, cracking this would have been a piece of cake. And we're back. So this is why he kept asking whether we'd seen anything bursting with a pop. The N-Corp employees must have it rough too, getting dragged into the distortion like this. I mean, what else were we supposed to do? It was self-defense. They were about to attack us. No worries, I suppose finding the root cause and taking care of it would be the fastest way forward. Let's just do what we can for now. Okay, first, we need to develop the film we found here. We'll head to the nearest darkroom and... Nah, actually let's drag that slippery hat wearing Colt back here and get him talking about the Chunokins. That's probably our best bet. Every time we take a job, it's like it just slips off without telling anyone. As one part of me watched Ezra stamp her feet in frustration, I was also carefully following Heathcliff's team through the other part of my vision. Oh, I think you can help with that. Have you located him? What? Boss Clock found something? Yep, I found where Bamboo-Headed Kim is right now. God, he really went far. You still didn't reply about the follow back, though? Let me quickly check, jeez.
다시 사람의 형상으로. 살수의 방식으로는 절대 도달하지 못했을 결과일 테죠. 이젠 좀 알 것 같네요.
I don't even see... I feel like I didn't even see it
무엇을 배워가면 좋을지.
in, like, my notifications at all. There's chat. God, there also isn't even a follow notification for like a while, as far as I can tell. There's all the likes and replies, I guess. I'm gonna keep hitting tab. You still didn't reply about the follow back. I already read that. Time to fight more. Oh, we have the full team now. Heck yeah. Then we will change everyone out in order to help battery farm some of this. Put you in. I could bring you in, but I'm actually going to keep the bleed here. And you don't have one, and you also I don't think have one. You do have that one though. Grab you, grab you, grab you, I think. You.
그러든가.
망설임 없이. 지위를 받는 건 오랜만이네요. 피가 범.
의뢰로군.
드디어 내 차례냐?
Do a quick little level up to get you up to speed.
부선장이 필요한가? 어떤 조직 놈들인지
C Warner 0458. I. Oh, jeez, you actually do follow me. Interesting. Actually, there's a simpler answer to instead of just following you, and that's just to reopen it, unfortunately. But I'll just do this after. Bloody hell, what's up with these gents? They're showing up out of nowhere. How should I know? But judging by their getup, they seem like S-Corp fellas. And things are going so well. We could have talked it out with those fedora guys who were rummaging around the place earlier, you know? But no, he just had to go barking at them first. Would have saved us a whole lot of trouble if you hadn't, right? Oh, so it's my fault. Those bastards look like they were nicking stuff. This is our contract era, ain't it? If they walked off with something important, we'd be the ones catching hell. Listen, bud. Not everyone's itching to swipe hair coupons into their pockets the second they get the chance. No, I saw you! Like... I followed you, but it's a girl's picture in the profile check-in. I did. I'm just gonna open up the DMs later. I just want to stream right now. I don't have to deal with this. Oh, for how many bloody months are you locking to milk that? Excuse me. What, you got a problem too, mate? No, not at all. Just wondering whether that gentleman over there is also one of our enemies. Is that the end of your troupe performance? Shame, I was really enjoying watching you folks dance. Might have mistaken this place for the Peach Blossom Land of Legends had there been a cup of fine Macchioli to go with it. Yeah, that's an enemy, alright. He has a name tag, though. I think it says, LCD. LCD, whatever, who gives a toss? Am I supposed to put up with every bastard having a dig at me? Oh dear. Such bold swings. Didn't know there was an encore to that performance. You slippery little rat. Well, I do find this amusing enough, but if you intend to play with me, you ought to be more aware of your surroundings. Hey, behind you, there's... Wow, he took out those doppel-wearing people with just a single strike. I'd say that about covers the price of admittance for your troop circus, wouldn't you? You needed my help regarding getting a character made? Yeah, I'll just wait until after to get the message thing sorted out and then listen to you there. Well then, I leave the rest to you folks. Wandering blades and worm tails never linger on the stage for long after all. Wait, where the hell do you think you're going? Ah, damn it. Poor Heathcliff.
저것들 상당히 즐거워 보이는데요. 뭔가 기운을 내게 하는 걸 먹었을지도 몰라요.
Did not realize I threw out a bunch of mollies doing that. Although actually no, that does make sense. I needed to hit 5 and 8. Brain just did not think on it. Murder. Murder, murder. 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 Not a whole lot of damage, unfortunately. But damage is damage.
마음 둘 안. 아비들도 매번 이런 식이었다. 지금 내킬 때만 잘해줬지.
Okay, good job, Faust. Definitely worried there because of the SP difference, but it worked out in the end. Stagger? No. Yes, got the stagger. And then free damage on you. Let's go, let's go. Unfortunately, one coin shattered, but doesn't matter.
무분조토. 역시 모가지를 분질러야 조용해지는 거. 저 도야지 같은 새끼들.
Let's go. Another one bites the dust. This one should also be dead. Let's go. Okay, this one's definitely gone.
제 행위
What the heck?
무상이다.
Interesting. Oh, we made it to the dark room. Interesting, though. So we were just fighting these guys the whole time.
이제 싱 수에선 벗어났나?
Oh god, the EP girl in the wakey world is starting to hit a bit, I think.
제법이야.
그 삶의 마침표를
I'm not even that far in. I'm definitely going to come back to this. If I...
아무 저항도 못하고
I am just going to actually fall asleep at some point. Because, like, it's already 1 o'clock here. But I really want to get through more of this. But there's just so much talking, too.
엄청나게 강한 일격을.
Please just give me a couple fighting sections only, then.
재밌네. 난 너희가 좀 더 이번에도 잘해줬어.
At least they're done for.
유익한 책이.
It's witching hour where I'm at. That's right, you're like 2 hours ahead. So let me get this straight. Dude was here just a minute ago, and now nobody knows where he wandered off to. Yeah, bloke just turned up out of nowhere, flapped his gums, and did a runner before anyone could grab him. Ezra let out a long, listless sigh, as though she was getting sick and tired of even complaining about Kim. Lady Ezra, I cannot say your frustration is misplaced. Yet I trust you are also aware that, more often than not, Mentor's actions have carried a profound design. He has never left his post without purpose so far. No, I get it, okay, but come on, would it kill him to give us a heads up before he goes zooming off on his own again? It's not like we'd stop him. What are we gonna do, tie him up, lock him in a closet? We don't do that in our team. Remember last time, we all thought he was being a good patient and sleeping off in the recovery ward, but nope. When the LCE got infiltrated, he snuck out without telling anyone and came back like nothing happened, and the team leader didn't even chew him out for that. Lady Ezra, that's... Oopsie, wasn't supposed to mention that, was I? Then the reason he failed to participate in the operation was simply because the LCD was lax in supervising its personnel. Is that what you're suggesting? Lady Moses bade us hold our tongues for this very reason. She knew full well Mentor's intentions would be misunderstood in precisely such a manner. What part of this have I misunderstood? Did you not disclose the man deserted his post without authorization? That's the thing. He wasn't just wandering around. He was outside all alone, taking down the ring automatikinis who'd locked down the elevator that leads into the LCE department. Yeah, it's not like he was dealing with the strongest enemy out there, but the recovery ward didn't have an emergency alarm, and nobody from the department was there to warn him either. He somehow just caught on and did the job himself. I heard it's all thanks to him that the facilities team managed to get the comms back up and contact the LCE chief dude way faster, and that helped the LCA to actually deploy. They would have been delayed for another hour or two if he hadn't stepped in, apparently. And they went fighting even though he still wasn't fully recovered, so he came back looking like he'd been processed through a meat grinder. So, yeah, he ended up staying in bed like a good patient in a lot of pain. Ahem. Then the soldier is not entirely deserving of reproach. Nope, he's a less talking, more doing type, I guess. Anyway, we were all stuck inside the building back then during the incident, so fine, I suppose there was no helping it. Though, Today, though, never mind. It's always like this with him. He always slips away and pops back in saying it's done. My point is, what happens if one day one of those solo missions doesn't go his way and he just drops dead in the street somewhere? How are we supposed to help him then? Actually, how does he even know what's supposed to be done in the first place when nobody gave him any instructions? Bloke's gotta be relying on his gut feeling, isn't it? Gut feeling? Look, I only saw the bloke for a bit, so I can't say I've got him all figured out. He's an annoying bastard, but he didn't strike me as some clueless sod who doesn't know where he's stepping. Also, what I'd miss, we fought more people, basically, and now we're talking about how Bamboo-Headed Kim is just kinda not being fully a team player, where he's just kinda doing things on his own, even though they're beneficial, instead of doing things properly with the team. Today's proof enough. He's not one of us, so Clockhead couldn't have reached him that far and sent him to back us up. And there's no way he just happened to run into us just when we were about to get into battle, isn't it? Then, well, could be bloke's got some stupidly sharp head on him and piece things together. Could be that. But I've got this moment when I get a flash of that gut feeling, however you want to call it. My boss man, Matthew, said he could hear that kind of shite too. Said, I can hear them gears turning, or I think I hear my rats scurrying about. He'd do things you couldn't make heads or tails of. Listen, there was this one time when we were expecting a life and death fight. Matthew says he can hear them gears turning, walks into a random pub, starts throwing back drinks like he lost his bloody mind. Uh-huh, that does sound like someone who's lost his bloody mind. Back when I was on the ship, some sailors used to drink the barrel dry before battling whales to blunt their fear, only to stumble around on the deck and fall overboard. Kinda sucks with how strict Nintendo is with copyright because the Pokemon Red walkthrough from you would be so good. Yeah. I guess I could also look into maybe doing fan games if I really wanted to. Even though I know those will also probably be targeted, even if I'm tiny. But oh well. Yeah, and boss could knock it back like a whale. Still, the point is getting plastered right before a turf wars. Not what most sane people would call a good idea. Had us all crossed so we went stomping after him. And guess what? Turns out that pub was the secret hideout where the opposing syndicate was holed up. They were crowding around the gaffer, running their mouths about how they'll kill him and put an end to the dead rabbits. Then when we came storming in, had them surrounded instead. Not a single one of them got away. We beat them bloody, every last bastard, and boss knew it'd play out that way. Sorry, but this really sounds like barstool bragging to me. You sure that wasn't just a coincidence? I should think it was no mere chance. If you are saying as such, then surely this was but one among many such coincidences. Is that not so? Yeah. Every time Matthew pulled one of those stunts, our lot ended up growing bigger. Wouldn't have kept working so neatly if it were just a coincidence. It is likely what is often referred to as, indeed, an instinctive sense or experience-based precognition. More accurately, an unconscious process by which information accumulated in the subconscious is sorted and converted into sensible conclusions. There have been some extremely rare cases in which Heathcliff has demonstrated the ability to arrive at coherent conclusions that surprise even Faust. On further analysis, it would appear that he was employing a mechanism similar to a sixth sense, as some people call it. Is that a compliment, or are you taking the piss out of me? Though my mentor does not see fit to explain each step he takes. When all is past, I often find that no footfall of his was taken in vain. Finally getting the hang of Sudoku and like the expert level. Nice! I remember doing Sudoku back in high school, actually. Or, actually no, not high school. Maybe elementary or middle. Where we even had like some worksheets for it. It was really fun. Weird, but fun. I would ask of you, grant him but a little time and wait. Keep waiting, and the shape of his intent may yet become clear. Though I confess I also have been concerned about him of late. His recent silence is far heavier than what I have noticed in the past. To wait. Don Quixote hesitated, then stopped herself from saying more. She only gave a quiet nod. Yeah, okay, I suppose our team leader has her own reasons for letting him be. That said, doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Let us return to the task at hand, and do what we can for now. Fine, fine. As the others quieted down, I finally had room to notice the place we found ourselves in. Yeah, dark room. I can't believe we've been chatting away in the dark this whole time, fellas. And the red lights aren't helping at all, especially with my aging eyes. Oh, are you looking for the light switch? It's right here. And right then... Don't turn on the light. I heard Merceau's clipped warning, his voice coming from a corner I didn't expect to find. Merceau? Where are you? Ah, there he is. That corner. Is he washing something? I am developing the film roll, manager. Exposure to light might ruin the entire roll. Please exercise caution. So he'd been doing his own thing. That explains why he was quiet all along. Huh? Didn't think you know how to print photographs, pal. What's that for anyway? You expressed the wish to have the film developed, manager. I am carrying out that instruction. Aw, heck yeah. Chess is also said to do... Yeah, I know... basically just keeping the mind active helps them a lot. A photo studio first, and now a darkroom. This may be no more than a conjecture. But it would not be unreasonable to suppose that the axis of this distortion rests upon a photographer. The film's serial numbers either match those found in the photo studio, or deviate by only a single digit. It is certain that this darkroom is connected to the studio in some way. The images bear a striking resemblance to these photographs. I also believe this building and that photo studio share a strong connection. Oh, where'd you get these photos? I brought some from the photo studio. I cannot name the locations in the picture with certainty, yet they all appear to have been taken at various places at N-Corp's district. Buildings, mostly. Hey, wait, I know what these are. People take pictures like these when supplying stuff to that department store. Correct. The photos must have been taken by a docugrapher. Merceau chimed in, holding up an odd cylindrical container in his hand this time. He gave the container a shake every now and then with a measured rhythm. Whatever he was doing seemed to be part of the process of developing the film. Film rolls are hardly affordable for the average resident in N-Corp. In most cases, taking photographs is done as part of a professional duty. There are approximately 21 occupations in District 14 that utilize photography. However, only a single profession involves routinely photographing specific buildings, adhering to fixed standards that can be observed in these pictures. And these docugraphers you mentioned are the people entrusted with that job? Yes, they photograph the information to be poured into canned oh god. Not the canned experiences. A docugrapher. How could a person of such a decently lucrative profession fall into distortion? Oh boy. Almost done. Decent job, maybe, but how do we know if they're a decent person? Ezra replied with a clear-cut answer that after only a brief pause. My brain is not working right. What makes you say that? The photo studio we were at didn't have any darkrooms, right? No, it didn't. My team leader said there are other ways of processing film rolls, but in N-Corp, you have to go to a darkroom to develop and print them. Correct. Film rolls are usually immersed in developer solution to be processed. Which is why photo studios have these darkrooms equipped with red safe lights right next to them. But this place is pretty far from that photo studio. Huh. Yeah, now that you mention it. Check out these windows. They're only covered by newspapers, all messy like. If you consider how sensitive film rolls are to light, it's really super suspicious that this darkroom doesn't have any proper blackout panels. And you know how films can cost a fortune in some places in the city, right? Who in their right mind would print photos in a room patched up with yesterday's newspaper? Oh. This probably isn't even a legit darkroom. Someone just hauled in the bare minimum tools needed to develop film and threw them together in a hurry. Someone who didn't want to be seen printing photos, and people don't usually avoid scrutiny unless they're doing something not so decent. If that's the case, then I can see why they might have distorted. Right? Manager? I have a request regarding your instruction to develop this film roll. Please ensure that you click too much. Please ensure that the light in this room is not turned on until development is complete. Are we already doing that? Yes. However, engaging in battle opens the door to uncontrollable variables. This is why I have judged it necessary to make a separate request. There is no need for concern. I am capable of participating in combat while maintaining the development process. That is insane, Merceau. A battle, you say? Surely there must be cause for you to believe so. At the photo studio, reinforcements arrived exactly 11 minutes and 34 seconds after N-Corp's pinframe team staff were defeated. Deductions based on the events thus far make it clear that the photo studio and this darkroom share some kind of connection. Furthermore, Senator Heathcliff, Senator Honglu, and Senator Gregor... The Nightbird scared the heck out of me just then. Have battled N-Corp's pinframe team in this very location. And that's when the footsteps came. The initial rinse is finished. The process is now halfway to the completion of the second agitation. This indicates that 11 minutes and 30 seconds have elapsed since the start of development. A battle is imminent. Please Ladrado safe position, manager. Thanks, Merceau. Understood, manager. I will follow that instruction going forward. Classic Merceau, only doing things if he's told to. And this is text. So, I'm gonna pull back a little bit. And I think honestly just gonna go to bed. Thank you everyone who did end up joining me, new and old. And, yeah, honestly, it's still really fun to stream, even if I may not be getting the best of experiences with it. I miss it. It's really fun just to talk with people and just to play some games I like. So I hope I can keep up this momentum. Maybe not only play Limbus Company, maybe I'll throw in something else, maybe do drawing streams or something, don't know. But I definitely want to do more. So, hope everyone has a wonderful day or night. Bye, Molly, going to bed. I definitely am going to bed once I clear some things up. And also, shut down my computer. But thank you for showing up, Bianca and everyone. And I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.